Chapter 8. Functions, String, and List in Python. Tacky, I feel bored creating the same block of code repetitively. Besides, it becomes difficult at times to find errors in a lengthy program. How do I manage this? Shweta, Python programming language has solutions for most of your problems. Tacky, just hearing about this fills my heart with enthusiasm. Implementing it would be fun. You can divide a bigger task into smaller, manageable tasks, and if a block of code is defined as a function, it can be reused by simply calling it. I'm sure it would be fun. Let me introduce you to the concept of functions in this chapter. It would be a strong foundation in learning more about programming. Introduction to Python functions. It is always advisable to perform a bigger task after breaking it down into a set of manageable tasks. This division enables us to manage the task in a more organized manner. In a programming language, functions help us to break our program into smaller pieces or modules. As our program becomes large and complex, functions make it more organized and manageable. Like any other programming language, Python also allows us to use functions in a program. A function can be defined as a block of a reusable code that performs a specific task. This concept is the central aspect on which the concept of procedural programming works. Features of function. Functions are the basics of procedural programming. Some important features of functions are: a program is divided into small modules and each module performs some specific task. Each module can be called as per the requirement. We can call a function as many times as required. This saves the programmer the time and the effort to rewrite the same code again. Therefore, it also reduces the length of the program. Dividing a bigger program into smaller functions makes the program more manageable. It makes debugging easy and makes the code efficient, both in terms of time and memory. Components of Python function. A Python function consists of the following components. Name of the function. A function name should be unique and easy to correlate with the task it will perform. We can have functions of the same name with different parameters. Arguments. The input given to the functions are referred to as arguments. A function can or cannot have any arguments. Statements. The statements are the executable instructions that the function can perform. Return value. A function may or may not return a value. Types of functions in Python. We have mentioned earlier that one of the strengths of the Python language is that Python functions are easy to define and use. Python functions can be categorized into built-in functions and user-defined functions. Let us discuss about them in detail. Built-in functions. The print and input belong to the category of built-in functions. We also have other built-in functions like range, type, etc. The main difference between these two categories is that built-in functions do not require to be written by us, whereas a user-defined function has to be developed by the user at the time of writing a program. User-defined functions. User-defined functions are created by the user according to the need of the program. Once the user defines a function, the user can call it in the same way as the built-in functions. User-defined functions are divided into various categories based on the parameters and return type. The functions that do not take any parameter or return anything are called type 1 functions. The type 2 functions take parameters but do not return anything. The type 3 functions take parameters and return output. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Program 1. To add two numbers using all the three types of built-in functions. You will get the following output. Creating a function. We can create a function in the following ways. Defining a function. We use the def keyword to begin the function definition. Naming a function. Provide a meaningful name to your function. Supply parameters. The parameters, separated by commas, are given in the parentheses following the name of the function. These are basically the input values we pass to the function. Body of the function. The body of the function contains Python statements that make our function perform the required task. Syntax of creating a function is: calling a function. A function can be called any time from other functions or from the command prompt after the definition. For calling a function, we type the function and pass the parameters. For example, program 2 to call a function. Name of function, body of function, function call. Program 3 to print a string by calling a function. You will get the following output. String. A sequence of characters which is enclosed or surrounded by single open parentheses, single quote, close parentheses, or double open parentheses, close parentheses, double quotes is known as a string. The sequence may include a letter, number, special characters, or a backslash. Python treats single quotes as double quotes. Example of a string. Creating strings. Strings can be created by enclosing characters inside single or double quotes. It is like assigning a value to a variable. Multi-line strings. A multi-line string in Python begins and ends with either 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. Any quotes, tabs, or newslines in between the triple quotes are considered part of the string. Program 4 to create a string. Using escape sequences with strings. Escape sequences or characters are used to insert special characters that are invalid in Python. Quotes are special characters, and to insert them in a string, we must escape them with a backslash character in front of them. An escape sequence is a sequence of characters that does not represent itself when used inside a character or string. It is typically used to specify actions such as carriage returns and tab movements. The backslash is a special character and is also known as the escape character in Python. It is used to represent white space characters. For example, \t for tab, \n for new line, and \r is for carriage return. Program 5 to print special symbols using escape sequences. You will get the following output. Program 6 to print multi-line strings. You will get the following output. Traversing a string. Traversing means visiting each element and processing it as required by the program. We can access the characters of a string one at a time using indexing. There are 2 ways of indexing a list.
Index with positive integers. Index from left starts with 0. Index with negative integers. Index from right starts with -1. Syntax for traversing a string.
Program 7 to access different elements of a string. You will get the following output. String operators. There are 2 basic string operators in Python, plus and star. Python uses plus for concatenation and star for replication. String concatenation operator, plus. String concatenation operator joins 2 or more strings into one. Program 8 to join 2 or more strings using string concatenation operator. You will get the following output. String replication operator, star. The replication operator is used to repeat the string for a given number of times. Program 9 to repeat a string using string replication operator. You will get the following output. String built-in functions. Python includes the following built-in functions to manipulate strings. Len, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. The len, open parenthesis, close parenthesis function calculates and returns the length and returns the length of a string supplied as an argument. Syntax of using len, open parenthesis, close parenthesis function is lower, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. The lower, open parenthesis, close parenthesis function converts all uppercase letters to lowercase. Syntax of using lower, open parenthesis, close parenthesis function is upper, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. The upper, open parenthesis, close parenthesis function converts all lowercase letters to uppercase. Syntax of using upper open parentheses close parentheses function is capitalize open parentheses close parentheses. The capitalize open parentheses close parentheses function returns a string with the first characters in capital. Syntax of using capitalize open parentheses close parentheses function is program 10 to use various string built-in functions. You will get the following output. List. In Python, a list is a type of container that is used to store a list of values of any type. One can store an integer, string, as well as objects in a single list. Each element in a list is assigned an index number. The first index is 0, the second index is 1, the third index is 2, and so on. Creating a list. Lists can be created by inserting the elements in square brackets. The elements in the list are separated by a comma. Program 11. To create a list, you will get the following output. Let us study about some of the ways through which we can create different types of lists. Empty list. An empty list in Python is created using square brackets. There are two ways to create an empty list. Program 12. To create an empty list, you will get the following output. Mixed data type list. Mixed data type list can be created to place different data types such as integers, strings, double, etc. Program 13. To create a mixed data type list, you will get the following output. Nested list. A list can have a list in itself as an element. Program 14. To create a nested list, you will get the following output. Accessing a list. We use an index number to access the list items just like strings. Use the index operator, square brackets, to access the element of a list. Program 15. To access the different elements of a list, you will get the following output. List functions. Let us study about some of the functions we can use with lists. The append open parentheses close parentheses function. The append open parentheses close parentheses function inserts the object passed to it at the end of the list. Syntax of using append open parentheses close parentheses function is program 16. To add an element to a list using append open parentheses close parentheses function, you will get the following output. The extend open parentheses close parentheses function. Using the append open parentheses close parentheses function, we can only add one element at a time. For adding more than one element, we use the extend open parentheses close parentheses function. Syntax of using extend open parentheses close parentheses function is program 17. To add elements to an existing list using extend open parentheses close parentheses function, you will get the following output. The del open parentheses close parentheses function. We use the del open parentheses close parentheses function to remove a sublist open parentheses start semicolon stop semicolon step close parentheses or a whole list of elements. Syntax for using del open parentheses close parentheses function is program 18. To delete elements from the list, you will get the following output. Program 19. To delete the whole list. Some more programs. Program 20. To calculate the area of different shapes, you will get the following output. Program 21. To perform various string operations, you will get the following output. Program 22. To check whether the triangle given by the user is scalene, isosceles, or equilateral, you will get the following output. Program 23. To perform various list operations, you will get the following output.